We just getting started, y'all.
Gotta step my game back up again. That was fire. It was beating in my
Eric
eardrum.
put that together. That was all
Hey,
Eric, man.
Eric, by the
He
way,
dropped
I
that
wanted
to
to
us
say
the other day, and I
thank you
was
for
like,
that.
whoa.
Because on the Pac-12 show this morning when I ran, I go, did I hit a wrong button? I'm like, oh man, Eric just gave me an early birthday present. I'm like,
Hey.
hell yes, Eric.
Question.
Yes, sir.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong. Did Chicks and Salsa replace Three Chicks in a Pod?
No, it's two separate shows.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, fellas. We talked about our biggest surprise here on the Sports Arena. Of course, you got your man Eric Wilson. I got my man, my co-host, the sports reporter without pay, Ray Lynn. Ball Don't Lie, John Shear, Blue Hawks 13, and Sideline Sports. And like he said, the Pac-12 review Mondays and Fridays. My man, the left coast, the west coast, and one of the 8 Dallas Cowboy fans that I love, honor, and respect, Mike Carrot-Tenuto. So, fellas, we talked about our peak performer. Let's talk about our biggest disappointment. John Shear, seems like to run your lips tonight. Who is your biggest disappointment, sir?
Yeah, I mean, a certain somebody who didn't show up tonight who roots for the San Francisco 49ers, ran their lips before the show, and I tried to tell them that it has to be Kirk Cousins, man. Like, you have the opportunity after the season you had with Justin Jefferson and company, all the wins that you got, I believe it was 13, which was a really good season, but I've been calling them frauds all season. And I mean, you come into this game and we all picking the Giants because we know what Kirk Cousins is made of. But this is a moment where you expect Kirk Cousins to shut us up. You expect the Vikings to be like, hey, like, we're for real. We beat the Packers. The Packers are out of this thing. We finally took the division, finally took the North. So it's our time. It was a great opportunity. And then at home, your defense lays an egg. You put up a little bit of points, but the final play is what gets me. This is the reason I chose Kirk Cousins. 4th and 8. You don't throw it to Justin Jefferson, the guy who led the league in yards, franchise record for yards. No, you don't throw it to him. Don't throw it to old reliable and Adam Thielen. Throw it to TJ Hawkinson on 4th and 8, a 3-yard dump off because you don't want to hurt your stats by potentially throwing a pick. So you throw a 3-yard dump off, and he has absolutely no chance to get that first down. It was one of the dumbest throws I've ever seen a quarterback in a playoff make. That is Kirk Cousins in a nutshell right there. If anybody defends his stats, anybody defends Kirk Cousins, it don't matter if they had Justin Jefferson bottled up. Would you rather throw a chance at Justin Jefferson getting a first down or a touchdown or whatever? Or you want to throw that dump off to Hawkinson, which got absolutely nothing? Like, you put Hawkinson in that spot where it's like, hey, man, you throw it to him. It's like, oh, I don't want this, man. Like, why are you throwing it to me? Like, it has to be Kirk Cousins. The game that they had, you got to do better than that. And then that throw is absolutely horrendous. That's a rookie mistake. Throwing 4th and 8, game on the line, you're throwing a 3-yard pass. It's not like you're throwing to a guy that's going to burn it to the first down line. It's TJ Hawkinson. Like, come on, man. That was an absolutely horrendous play. That's Kirk Cousins in a nutshell. That's what Eric's been talking about with this guy. This is what he's been talking about all year. And he showed up, perfect time. It has to be Kirk Cousins for my biggest disappointment, man.
Oh, I have so much wrong with you. Oh, God. Like,
hold on, Ray. Before you go, let me just quickly get mine out the way because I know you and Mike have things that you want to say with regard to the Minnesota Vikings. So let me just really quick go on and get mine out the way, and then I will let the two of you handle John. So for me, my biggest disappointment, was Justin Herbert. Justin, what are you doing, man? You have Austin Eckler. I get that you didn't have Mike Williams, but you had Keenan Allen. You put up 27 in Jacksonville on Jacksonville, man. You were supposed to very simply run the ball, manage the clock, and don't do anything crazy. You let Trevor Lawrence, and I won't say you, your defense, your whole entire team, let Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars put up 31 on you, and you only scored 3 total points in the second half. Like, all of a sudden, the light bulb went off in Jacksonville, and the light bulb went out with the Chargers. It was a tale of two halves. I'm going to tell you about this game so much. I actually had to go back and watch this game because I thought y'all had it in the bag. I went to sleep, bruh. I had faith in you. But clearly, the combination of Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson is much better than the combination of you and Brandon Staley. You, sir, are my biggest disappointment because for all the talk especially from one person individual who Ray will agree to this. We ain't seen or heard from Real Leo in a minute. But please believe when he show up, we all got a few choice words for him because he was the guy talking about Herbert this, Herbert that, and I was kind of seeing a little bit of it. But the fact of the matter is this: Justin Herbert, you, sir, along with your entire team, are the biggest disappointment of this whole entire weekend. With that being said, Ray, Mike, I know both of you have issues with what John has mentioned with regard to Kirk Cousins. So you know what? I'm gonna fall back. And I'm gonna let the three of you handle this. Ray, I want you to go first, and then Mike, I'll let you interject when you need to.
I'm not really upset, John, at you saying Kirk Cousins, especially based on the last throw. Like, as I watched the game, I went, that's your season, right? Like 4th and 8, and you throw a pass that's not to the marker. Like, that's my only issue. Kirk
that's the biggest. That's the reason I chose him overall over some other candidates.
So
right?
I mean that's great, but it's everything else you said. Like even the fact that you said like Hawkinson's a bad idea. The route was horrible, but Hawkinson went off that game. So
I know. That's why I say you put Hawkinson in a bad position.
Well, Hawkinson
he
put
played
himself
really
in.
Well.
So again, this is why my biggest disappointment is somebody else. Hawkinson put if it's 4th and 8. Why is anybody running a route this short?
That's not his fault. He's just running the route that's called.
Right. Again, we're gonna get to my disappointment later, right? But he's, it's not like Kirk put him there. Kirk probably
no, but he's got to know not to throw that ball to him.
Once the pressure's coming, and I'm not I think the throw was stupid, but once the pressure's coming, it's either take a sack or get rid of the ball, right? That's the guy that I see open. Maybe he can make a play instead of throwing it 30 yards down the field and get picked. Maybe he makes a play, right? But still, I agree.
It's over anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Listen, everybody involved. Hawkinson for running the route, the coaches who called the route, Kirk for throwing it there. Everybody's at fault for that last play, for running a play and then throwing that ball that short. But throwing it to Hawkinson, not a bad idea. Kirk did not play bad. 32 for 39 for 270 and 2 touchdowns and no picks. He didn't play bad. They just lost. Like, Kirk Cousins wasn't out there trying to tackle Daniel Jones. That wasn't his doing. So Kirk has a rep. So it's like, this is one of those things where we judge quarterbacks on wins and losses. They lost, so Kirk is horrible. I'm going to let Mike tap in before I get to my disappointment, which has a lot to do with the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah. Well, it goes to what you guys are saying, but it's my disappointment of the tired. And again, we kid about Eric and everything, but with Kirk Cousins, you mentioned his stats. He goes 31 of 39, 273, threw for 2, also rushed for a touchdown. Like, yeah, how much did he get hit that game? The Giants didn't have any sacks, or maybe they had one. The Giants had 1 sack? No, the Giants had 0 sacks, 5 tackles for losses. But Kirk Cousins got hit so many times. That last play, John, great. You're right. If you throw it to Justin Jefferson, it is going to be intercepted or knocked down, either one, because there's 2 guys that are just right there. That weren't, John, stop. You said it. There are 2 guys that are right there. But first of all, he went 9 for 9 on his first 9 passes and had a rushing touchdown. So, yeah, throwing it 3 yards. Oh, but I'm sorry. And this is the whole same thing I used to say to Eric all the time. Eli Manning, when Clueless McAdoo was the head coach, had like anywhere from like 1.7 to 1.9 seconds to throw the ball. Now, in the NFL, those guys are quick, but 1.9 seconds, you're not doing much. There was no excuses. It was all Eli Manning's fault that his line couldn't block. This game, their offensive line, and John, I didn't think their offense was frauds all year, especially their line didn't have a bad year. But this game, the Giants defense just said, Wink didn't dial up a ton of crazy blitzes. He got pressure, but they got pressure from the 4. And that last pass, he barely got his foot set, and he's like, this guy's about to take me down. You're not taking a sack on 4th and 8. Yes, a 3-yard pass past the line of scrimmage is terrible. But when you look at the coverage, there was nowhere to go. So either predetermine you're going to huck it up to Justin Jefferson, which I would agree with you on that point, but it's still
look at the Buffalo game, right?
Getting picked off or knocked down.
Yeah.
Do that. But to me, it's a tired thing. And people can say numbers. Well, like I've always agreed with you, Raylan. And when you said it, wins and losses as a quarterback stats a joke. Because if the defense decides to sit down, nobody's winning. I've always agreed with you on that. But this guy, Justin Jefferson, what I said last week, 1,809 yards receiving this year, led the league. Well, Kirk Cousins was throwing him the ball. The defense, and Raylan, I didn't want to go too far because I know where you're going with your biggest disappointment. But that's the other part. But to me, I'm tired of the thing of Kirk Cousins. He played a hell of a game. They were hanging in, but the Giants made more plays, and they pressured him all game.
Did Mike give? Who was your disappointment, Mike?
The narrative on Kirk Cousins.
Okay, I'm with you. So here's my biggest disappointment, man. I'm gonna read some stuff to y'all. Don't pull it up yet, E. You put it up. It's all good. DK Metcalf this weekend, 10 receptions, 136 yards. Deebo Samuel, 6 receptions, 133 yards and a touchdown. By the way, DK had 2 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs, 7 receptions, 114 yards. Jamar Chase, 9 receptions, 84 yards and a touchdown. Justin Jefferson, the league leader in yards, franchise record, 7 receptions, 47 yards. Now, by name, Wes Phillips is the offensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. But we know when Kevin O'Connell got the job, that was his tight end. He just brought him over with him from the Rams. The guy who's supposed to be this offensive genius, this brilliant mind, you have to do something different. You can go ahead and put Kevin O'Connell up. You have to get, like, football is about getting the ball in your playmakers' hands, right? If you look at all the teams that were successful this weekend, all of them got the ball in their playmakers' hands, right? You have to figure out a way to get Justin Jefferson the ball. Like somebody put in the comment earlier, they had him bottled up. Then you have to move him around. You have to run some plays to get him something quick and easy. Get the ball in his hands and let him make plays. Hell, take some shots down the field. You have the guy who was the best receiver in the game. You're an offensive guru. That's what they hired you for. That's what you made your name for over there in LA. You turned Cooper Kupp into the Triple Crown winner, right? You're an offensive guru. Minnesota hires you. Justin Jefferson has a great season. You get in the playoffs and you can't get this guy the ball. Like, that's not Kirk Cousins' fault. Like they said, they had him bottled up. But you have to call plays. You have to change some. You have to do something to free him up and get him the ball. If you get Justin Jefferson the ball, they win this game.
Yep.
Like, you can't win with Justin Jefferson having 7 receptions for 47 yards. Hockenson had a hell of a game. Shout out to him. Somebody asked, do we miss him? I just want to say what Amon-Ra St. Brown, no, we don't really miss him at all. But Hockenson had a hell of a game. He did what he was supposed to do. But Justin Jefferson is your guy. When you get into these moments, you go down on your sword. You go down with the guys that got you there. Justin Jefferson has to get the ball. How many targets did he have?
7.
9 targets. He had 9 targets.
Not enough.
9. Yeah,
9 targets. 15. The ball need to be thrown to him 15 more times.
It needs to be that Buffalo game all over again.
Yeah,
that's what it needs to be.
I just didn't understand that, man. I'm watching the game in the second half, and I'm like, at some point, do you guys remember the Super Bowl last year? What happened? Do you know why Cooper Kupp won the MVP? When the Rams got deep into it, the playbook turned into, y'all remember in Any Given Sunday where he said, run to the Buick and I'll throw it. Yep. The playbook became, throw it to Cooper Kupp. That was the playbook. Like, for the last 5 minutes,
that was the entire playoffs for Matt Stafford.
I mean, I'm talking, but like during the Super Bowl, it was like, you know, they got some other weapons,
especially once Odell Beckham Jr. went down, Ray. Especially once he went down,
right? And then you got guys like Van Jefferson and Akers was back,
and you
Henderson,
knew it was going to Kupp, and you couldn't stop it.
That's what I'm saying. That last drive, it was literally like he snapped the ball and he was staring him down, and I'm gonna throw it to him, and you can't stop it, and they couldn't stop it. At some point, you got to go, okay, we throwing it to Jefferson. Stop it. I don't know. That was very disappointing.
I completely agree.
But you know what? That's the simple mathematics. And what you say about Justin Jefferson is what I've said about why Brian Daboll should be coach of the year. He gave every team that he played this season his playbook, his blueprint on offense. We are going to give the ball to Saquon, and Daniel Jones is going to do some RPOs. Stop him if you can, and look where the Giants are at. It's the same thing. And like you said, it's very simple.
For the record, your coach did the same thing.
Well, he did, but we have more weapons. We have more weapons. But honestly, I'm just saying right now.
That's what makes it disappointing, though. Every team, we can name any team and you go, what's the formula for them to win? And we can say what it is, right? We know Kansas City, when it gets tight, he's looking for Kelsey. Yes. We know this, right? When it gets tight, Burrow's looking for Chase. We know this. You have to you have to get your guy open. Like that using him as a decoy it's
stupid.
Well, Ray, I was gonna say to you too, lastly, real quick, Eric, is that like the offense this year, yes, it did look different than when Mike Zimmer was the head coach. I agree with that. But their terrible last place defense is another reason why I thought you were gonna say he's disappointing too, because all year long, and and John saying they're fraud, but all year long they're the bottom in yards allowed. They're the bottom in what was it, third down conversions, I think, whatever it was, but they were like 28th and 31st. I'm like, you needed the Kevin O'Connell to like jumpstart that offense, but you just let your defense tank, and you won 13 games, and that's that.
I need to go to break right now because it's about to be the fourth quarter, and Tampa still ain't scored.
Look at this. No, not that one. This one. That makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Oh, for Jefferson, yeah.
That means he went quarters 2, 3, and 4 with 2 receptions. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy. All right, man. Speaking of my man, the sports reporter without pay, we got a show Monday nights right before we come on here and do our thing at 10 p.m. It's called Ball Don't Lie. Y'all make sure you check him out, man. Y'all already know. Ball Don't Lie. Monday nights, 9 p.m. Right before the sports arena. My man Ray Lynn getting it in, man. All basketball the entire year. Y'all already know what time it is. Brother, still one of the most thought-provoking guys I think I've ever come across, man. I'm just glad he's on my team because debating him is truly, you better do your homework and then some. This brother will take you to school and take your lunch money. But anyhow, before we go to our next topic, I got it. This is my Philly brother because only he would put this comment in. He said, you can't take a team seriously who traded for Jalen Reagor.
And passed on Justin Jefferson.
Hey, Mike. No one asked you. No one asked you. Okay. Watch it. Oh. All right, let's keep it moving. We got some more topics here tonight. So